What's the worst thing you've ever found in your food at a restaurant? I was at a local restaurant chain, Northeast US, and ordered a buffalo chicken wrap. Got about halfway in and bit into a large metal bolt and chipped my tooth. Not a good time. 0/10 recommend. Zinc and calcium in one meal. Sounds like a win to me. Not really a restaurant, but my uni's cafeteria. I took the salad. There was the corpse of a frog neatly cut in half. Another guy found the other half. No clue how it got there. Bagged lettuce. Not uncommon. Glass. When I was in 7th grade, my family was eating one of those big family style salads at an Olive Garden. I am weird and eat salad with a spoon. I put a spoonful of salad into my mouth and felt something cut the inside of my cheek while I bit down on something hard. I pulled out a bloody chunk of glass. The restaurant accused us of lying, even though we didn't ask for anything in return. We just wanted to let them know so no one else got hurt. Plus, if we were going to lie, why would my parents have chosen their 13-year-old daughter to be the target of salad glass? They did end up comping me and my dad's meals, but we still paid for my mom's and other siblings. A very late edit. This happened in Iowa, and if you all know anything about how Midwestern people are, we're way too nice. And my parents both have anxiety disorders, lol. The last 2 times I went to Steak and Shake, I got earrings in my shakes both times. One was a stud earring and the other was a hoop. I wouldn't eat there ever again even if it was my only choice. Maybe that's a special they're doing. Collect 5 sets of trendy earrings. Only at Steak and Shake. I got a creme cheese baguette on the go and was eating it while walking. Did not really look at what I was biting into. One bit was quite difficult to chew, and I pulled a finger of a latex glove out of my mouth. Could be worse. At least it wasn't a latex condom, although I guess gloves are technically hand condoms. An entire rat snake and a number 10 sized can of green beans. The guess was his crawled into the can at some point and just got filled with beans and then retorted. The can guy said it probably drowned before it was cooked. Poor fella. How do you find a snake in a can of green beans and nobody comments on it? An inch-long bolt in my mashed potatoes. Fortunately I found it with my fork, and not my teeth. The maggot had informed me later that the bolt had fallen off of their industrial mixer. I like the people that take responsibility like this. I found a full receipt crumpled up into the size of a marble in the gravy of a Yorkshire pudding at an English pub-style restaurant. I bit on it, was confused, pulled it out of my mouth and unwrapped a full legible receipt from the night before. I showed the waiter and he said he'd talk to the owner. The owner said I could choose to pay my bill or the receipt I found in my food. The total on the receipt I found was almost $30 more than what I ordered. I was shocked with the service and never went back. I also left without paying. Frick that place. Worms. I'm a chef and all of the monkfish has to be checked for parasites when we get it. Any fish can have parasites but monkfish is the only one where I have to cut the wiggling bastards out myself. It's safe to eat but I won't order it anymore. No matter how delicious it is. Ignorance is bliss. People would be disgusted if they'd seen what I've seen pulled out of swordfish. When I was working at a hospital in the dietary department, we had a pizza day one day of the month. So we got in pre-made crusts so we could make the pizzas quickly. Made them all and proceeded to slice them when one of them had an electrical wire coiled up throughout the entire base of the pizza. I was like 15 or 16 at the time and I remember being absolutely shocked at how an entire wire could be coiled into a pizza crust. The wire was like a teal color and the color had leaked into the surrounding dough. Man, that was messed up. Absolutely shocked. Electrical wire pun. A large mosquito-looking fly with an incredibly long proboscis in a salad I was eating. I turned over one leaf of lettuce and it was laid out beautifully with the proboscis fully unfurled. It looked like a fossil, perfectly preserved in vinaigrette, like it almost had to have been placed that way on purpose. I don't think I was a dong to that waiter, but maybe? They was probably a crane fly. Worst thing I found in my food was what turned out to be cardboard from the box of mushrooms but was unidentifiable when I pulled it out of my mouth initially. Worst thing my boyfriend found in his food, an M&M in a burrito from Taco Bell. That may or may not have been dropped out of the mouth of the person who made the burrito at Taco Bell. It was horrific. The mystery. My BF called the Taco Bell and demanded to know if because it was the holidays people had been throwing around M&Ms or something. The manager looked in the back and said, "Huh, now that you said it, I am seeing a lot of M&Ms back here." The M&M thing is so hilarious to me. Thanks for sharing. I was given a dirty spoon at the local Waffle House. When I asked for a replacement, the waitress got upset and gave me a long explanation as why the dirty spoon was not her fault since the previous shift had washed them. I simply replied, "But you are the one that gave it to me. I don't think she liked me." It doesn't matter whose fault it is. What matters is that I get a replacement spoon. One time my family ordered pizza for takeout from a local pizza place. When we got home and opened it, there was a huge tangled hairball on the pizza. It was a hairball the size of a golf ball at least. I have no idea how that could happen. A giant chunk of hair in my salad. Like, it wasn't even a good prank because as soon as I started mixing it, I saw this massive chunk of hair and stopped. I sent it back and the waitress asked, "Would you like a replacement salad?" I said, "Heck no. I wanna pay whatever I owe for the drinks and go somewhere else." She got the manager that I definitely didn't ask for or want to speak to. Manager said drinks were on the house and asked me to stay and let him make it up to us. I politely declined since he was being so polite. I took my free drinks and left. Never went back there again. I did get about $30 or $40 worth of free alcohol out of it though. I didn't ask for it, but it was nice of him to do that. My girlfriend at the time was so grossed out by this giant ball of hair that she actually started dry heaving. That's what got the waitress's attention. That sounds absolutely disgusting and ridiculous. My brother and I went to eat at a Mexican restaurant, and I came in a few minutes after him. We ate through that basket of chips and were brought a refill, but the chewed up gum in the wrapper was facing me instead of him this time. I turned around and said, "Gross. I don't want your nasty chewed up gum on my side." His eyes got as big as saucers, and he said, "That's not my gum." The restaurant did not change the pieces of wax paper in the bottom of the chip basket. My brother immediately spit a mouthful of chewed up chips and salsa into the chip basket, and we notified our waiter. We saw our waiter pick up the basket of chips, walking into the kitchen, dump the whole thing in the top of the chip warmer. Yes, my brother's chewed up chips were dumped into the restaurant's supply of chips. Okay, what the fricks fuckery is this? I had a small dead roach in a bowl of butter once. I was sitting at the bar and so when I saw it and freaked out, the bartender equally freaked out and she very apologetically replaced it. It's the South. It was raining. They had the bowls of butter under the bar ready to hand out with the bread, so I didn't storm out or anything. Crap happens. I found a small plastic monkey, think barrel of monkeys, that was used as a decoration throughout the restaurant in my salad. Poor monkey lost from his friends, never to be linked again. Not restaurant but close enough. Not even sure I want to. I still throw up at this story. Ordered Domino's pizza, started eating, got down to the last 2 slices, saw a slithery slimy thing and lifted up the slice to a used condom. It had leaked all over my other slices but I didn't notice and assumed greasy TC. Was hungry. Drove down to the store and asked for the manager. No such luck. Got photos and went to higher up. Turns out 2 employees having sex. I'll presume fired. I got given a code for the online website. Free pizza for a year. But like heck, I'd ate 6 slices of semen pizza. Semen pizza. CM and try it. Only at Domino's. Now I love the taste and consistency of Lindt chocolate balls, but I purchased an assorted bag and bit into a white chocolate ball to see the inner creamy chocolate portion. And staring back at me was a human hair half sticking right out at me, smack dab in the middle. Took pictures and sent to Lindt. They thought they'd make it good with me by sending me more chocolate. An eye patch in my salad. I was friends with the owner and cook. They swore it was not a joke and had no idea how it got there. Might wanna check the place for pirate ghosts. I was eating my combo meal at a fast food chain and in my fries there was a long blonde hair. Not mine, I have brown curly hair. So we take the meal back to the restaurant and show the manager. She refunds our money and puts us in the books for a free combo meal the next time. Next time around we go get the free one. Guess what was in it? A long straight brown hair. We take it back and again she refunds us. It happened a third time and we haven't been back to that location since. That location was the closest to my house, so that is why we kept going to that one. Nothing is wrong with the chain, just that location. I guess all ended well because that location closed due to coronavirus. Oh well. Happy Cake Day. Not really a restaurant or a thing, but one time I picked up some Jack in the Box for breakfast one lazy morning, and when I opened up the sandwich I ordered there was a bite taken out of just the sausage patty. I was both confused and pissed off. Just like WTF. I called Jack in the Box and they said that it wasn't a bite mark but that a conveniently shaped segment of the sausage patty had just fallen off and that they had found the missing part. They gave me a new sandwich. I'm not sure I buy their story though. Bizarre experience lol. Worked at McDonald's in my teens. Definitely possible it was a conveniently shaped piece that chipped, but definitely should not have been sent out like that. Part of a screw. I had to assume it came from the industrial shelving in the kitchen. When I brought it to their attention they offered me a free meal. Next time, there wasn't one, primarily because they closed down. I dropped the screw in the tuna. I went to a local chain restaurant and ordered a steak salad. I started choking halfway through the meal and couldn't cough out the foreign object. I ran to the bathroom and made myself throw up only to find out that it was an aluminum bread tie that had been lodged in my throat. Never went back. Not my story, but years ago someone ordered a pizza from a semi-fancy pizza place. Not Pizza Hut budget but not 5-star restaurant. When they got the pizza they found there was a squished rat on the bottom of the base. Ratatouille went splatter towel. Not a restaurant, but in elementary school I found half of a pencil in my sausage biscuit. My friend found the other half in his. Went to McDonald's years and years ago. Ordered a McChicken. Took a huge bite. Tasted funny. Blue moldy lettuce. Like, when you're making the food how can you not tell the lettuce is moldy? It was all blue. Not a restaurant, but I opened a large bag of chips once and found a factory worker's glove inside. Not so much disgusted as I was baffled. Got a bag of chips once where the chips were all still uncooked potato slices. Oh my god. I know I'm late to the party, but for the love of god I hope this gets read, because I think this takes the cake. I worked in a restaurant in a major US city. High traffic tourist area. We served upscale American cuisine. Read. Overpriced tourist trap. It was a fun restaurant to work in, but far from quality food. There were 2 stories in the restaurant, and the top floor overlooked the bottom floor, providing diners on the bottom floor with an open air feeling. HVAC vents ran above the bottom floor from the top. There was a mouse issue in the building, as it was old and high traffic and a restaurant etc. Apparently the restaurant hired pest control to install poison traps to make sure the mice didn't become an issue during business hours. I was not a diner, but rather a server during a night shift on the bottom floor. My section of tables happened to be below one of the HVAC vents from the top floor. I am in the middle of checking on a table that just received their appetizers. And I kid you not, a fricking poison-dazed mouse falls from the HVAC ledge above onto the fricking plate of someone sitting at this table. The mouse was still alive, dazed, slow to move, but still alive and in fact moving around a plate of french fries. Mum screamed. The kids freaked TF out, mostly out of concern for the mousey, and I immediately sought a manager to sort this crap out. I couldn't find a manager and told the mom she was good to go. Obviously she was under no obligation to pay for her meal following the mouse bomb onto her plate. The family left and I finally got a hold of a manager who I explained the ordeal to so that he'd comp the check. Once he understood the gravity of the experience, we both solemnly stood by the glass door out front, with my hands in the front pockets of my apron, and his hands tucked tightly in his dress pants pockets. We reflected, and agreed, she would never, ever return to this restaurant. I'd say a bunch of hairs in my cheese. I continued eating after the first and second. I'm not picky, was hungry, but then they just started coming and I found more than 10. I wonder how that food was prepared. I feel you're there. I found a couple long black hairs, at least 12 inches long, in my favorite Mexican food. Pulled those suckers out and ate the rest of the dish. Still go there every week. I jaff. It's not what was in the food but the state of the food. This incident that I am about to describe was all my fault for not knowing better. I do not blame the restaurant in the slightest. So, it's one of those buffet places where you grab your stuff and go, right? Well, I wanted meat, so I was in the meat area and grabbed a few tasty looking things to eat. I headed back to my table, took a few bites and realized something was off. The meat was raw. Turns out, I was meant to pick the meat I wanted cooked and take it to one of the chefs, but there were no signs or anything telling me to do this, plus I didn't see the chefs, so I ate raw meat. I really should have known it was raw from the way it looked, but I was a bit of an idiot at the time. I waited an entire day with bated breath, but I didn't get any food poisoning or anything. Given that it was literally raw meat, I got lucky. Don't try this at home, kids. Properly handled beef is perfectly safe to eat raw. Pork and chicken, not so much. Nothing as bad as some of these comments. Geez, a little bit of plastic wrapping in a side salad. Guess they ripped the bag. A hair or two in a breakfast skillet. At least they took it off the bill without us asking when we brought it up. An entire spoon buried beneath a refried beans and rice plate. Waitress told me the cook left the spoon on there on accident and absent-mindedly dumped the food on there. Honest mistake, believe it or not. It looked exactly like a tiny brain, but I found it inside a piece of fried chicken, so I'm guessing it was a kidney or something. But you. Chicken brain. I used to love Burger King's $1 spicy chicken sandwiches back in the day. Not sure if they still sell it. Last time I ate it, I took a bite and noticed the chicken, which was orange on the outside, was completely black in the inside. Like the whole chicken patty was black in the inside. Either cooked too much to the point it's charred, wouldn't have orange skin though, or rotten. A coworker of mine wanted to go to Hooters after work. I begrudgingly went. He ordered onion rings, took a bite of one, and a very large clump of hair was fried into the batter. Indian restaurant on St. Mark's in NYC was almost finished with my dal soup when I finally got around to scooping out a medium-sized object I'd felt with my spoon at the bottom of the bowl. I thought it was maybe a big cardamom seed, and found a giant cockroach. I'd already eaten most of the soup. My friends were all like, dude, you need to get a free dinner at least, but I just felt bad for the cooks. I figured it was an honest mistake. Not a restaurant but my high school cafeteria. I bought rice from them. I live in Asia, and as I set my food on the table, a swarm of ants crawled out of the rice. Turns out they served me an expired food and had ants making a nest in my rice. I'd never been so horrified in my life. My grandfather once opened a can of peas and found a full human thumb floating on top. He never ate peas again. Cannery accidents once were much more common than they are today. Plus, if a thumb was severed and lost, the entire lot of cans would be destroyed, so as to prevent this situation from occurring. Not me, but the restaurant chain I used to work at had a skeleton of a cat found in a bucket of peanuts. It was a definite WTF moment. I've been in F&B for many years. Worst thing that went to a table was a glass shard in the guest's drink. Comped everything and filed an incident report in case they needed medical attention. We also once found a black widow in the grapes package as we were putting away produce. Another time I cut a tumor out of a swordfish while breaking it down. Twice different restaurants. I got a piece strand of that curly metal sponge some places use to scrub pots in my mouth. A friend of ours owns a restaurant and says that is why he forbids his staff from using those, even though they can be efficient. Not a restaurant, but a pint of Cherry Garcia ice cream. There was so much freaking hair all throughout the entire pint. Just so many strands and clumps of it. Only seen it that one time though. Accidents happen. Not me, but the place I work at told me to do an extra good job washing the lettuce because once a woman found a whole dead caterpillar in her salad. Not a restaurant, but a popular candy shop in our area. I bought a box of chocolate covered almonds. As my husband drove home, I opened the box and ate a couple. Then I looked down and saw white wiggling worms coming out of one of the candies. They weren't maggots, but I'm not sure what they were. I didn't know whether or not I had already eaten some. I broke open a few others, and they all contained the same worms. We turned right around and took the box back to the shop. Although she gave us our money back, The clerk thought we were scamming her and refused to believe my story. She also refused to check the same types of candy in the display case. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.